Hello, everyone, and so glad for you to come join us again. This is Will Casterlow here, CEO of Triad Cyber Solutions. I am your IT and cybersecurity trusted advisor. And here, folks, we got a good one here today. Coming here to our late lunch and learn series, webinar series, and we're talking about preventative measures, okay? Preventative measures and keeping your business safe during the holidays. Very, very imperative that we also always look at our business, because as we are in the time of the given season, it's always warm and fuzzy, it's happy and family all over and laughter. We always got to remember the ones that's back at the office. And at the office, you want to make sure after you have had that warm, fuzzy holiday season, when you get back into the office, all your equipment and everything like that is still in order. Everything is still good. And guess what? You did not get hit over the holidays. Because, folks, I'm telling you, while you're on vacation and while you're out of town and while you're out there working and doing what you need to do, the hackers are on 24/7. They have increased their staff, they've increased their workload, and they're out to get you, folks. So please be leery of this. You need to listen to this very, very well, okay? Very carefully. So we're going to talk about a couple of preventive measures on how we can keep your business safe during the holiday season, all right? So let's go ahead and go on and get into this. We're going to talk about a little recap from last week. Last week I was talking about making sure you're not getting hit with the social media scans and all the little dark web scans about the free coupons and the fake coupons and gift cards and gift exchanges. Be careful of those, folks. Make sure you are getting them. Just today, I just got a text from Apple, okay? And I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to read this text to you stating this from Apple today. If I can find this real quick. Oh, here's an Apple alert. It's an Apple security alert. We have noticed that your Apple ID was recently used at the Apple Store for, excuse me, $143.95 paid by Apple Pay pre-authorization. Also, some suspicious sign-in requests and Apple Pay activation requests were detected. Looks like you're suspicious to us. In order to maintain security and privacy of your account, we have placed those requests on hold. If this is not you, please call this number. Talk to an Apple representative. Failing may lead to auto debit and charge and will not be reversed. Folks, scam. That is a scam. Because why? This is what we will do. We will sit there and be like, you know what? I didn't make that charge. I didn't have a charge like that today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and call this 888 number, okay? And we're going to be sitting here thinking that everything is all hunky-dory and good. We're going to call this number, reverse it. We're going to verify information, verify our Apple ID information. And guess what? They've gotten into our Apple phone, into our login, and now they're controlling how you save your apps, how you can conduct and deal with all your contacts, all personal information that you save on your iCloud. So I'm telling you, you have to be careful, okay? You have to be careful. So again, I talked about those things last week, so we're going to go ahead and get right on into it, okay? As the holiday season approaches, businesses face unique challenges that expose them to increased risk, okay? We're talking about cybersecurity threats for operational disruptions. For long periods of time, short periods of time. And again, when you go away, these vulnerabilities don't stop, right? These vulnerabilities do not stop. So making sure you're implementing preventive measures to create the safeguards for your organization, hiring a company like us helps that happen, because now while you're away enjoying time with family and friends and all of that, we're working 24/7, 365. Okay, so we're working where we got people in the back end. They're working to make sure nobody is going into your system, that we're protecting. So we get from the preventive stage to the protection stage. Okay, now some of the preventive measures to take this holidays. Of course, you need to make sure you have strong password policies. Okay, making sure the password is complex. You have numbers, letters, symbols. Okay, don't use the same ones. Don't use your phone number. Don't use your address. There's so many simple ones that a lot of organizations or people use. It's not even heard of. Okay, the next thing is making sure you have regular updates being done. Okay, make sure your PC or your computer, your workstation is having regular updates to make sure it's getting all the proper patches, security patches, and the maintenance is that it needs to make sure you stay preventive. Okay, because we're all talking about preventive measures. And then the last thing we're talking about is password management. Okay, making sure you have a password management software to keep a hold of all those passwords so they're not just visible. As soon as I open up the web browser, I can go in there and see all your passwords. That's what we're going to make sure we don't do. Okay, when I was talking about regularly software updates, security patches, very, very important to make sure that your business has a least amount of risk, okay, is what I'm saying. Not that the updates are going to stop your risk from happening, and not that the updates are going to stop a hack from happening. The updates and the patches and the things that we do are going to protect you. So when those things do happen, you have minimal risk. Okay. Hey, employee training. Okay. Employee training, making sure. A lot of times the cyber criminals know that the employees do not know what they're looking at. They understand that all they got to do is do a simple text like I just read to you, right? I just read to you a text that supposedly came from Apple. I know that didn't come from Apple. Okay? So supposedly came from Apple, insinuating that there was an attack on my Apple ID. Well, what if it was? You may say, well, Will, what if it was an attack? Well, guess what? I have it set up where if someone tries to get into my account, and after so many tries, it sends me an alert to let me know that my password was entered in too many times or incorrectly. I also have changed my password recently, so I know that the password is complex and it's not the same one. And then the last thing is, I just know, because I'm just that kind of guy. I'm just the IT trusted advisor. I am your IT trusted advisor, so I understand where things lie, where they sit. And because my environment, I'm talking my home office from my home office to my business office, both locations are secured. And when I'm talking secured, we're secured for internet coming in and internet going out. And all devices that are in both locations get checked. They go through a comprehensive check through our softwares that we have on all of our equipment. So I know for sure. Okay. But getting back to here, it's just making sure that employee training is being done. Okay. Make sure you talk to your employees about phishing emails. Make sure you talk about, especially now, you're going to have a lot of people start sending holiday cards and thank you cards and stuff, and by email or by mail. Make sure those things are legit, okay, before you open them. All right. Then we want to make sure you may have had some people that you turned over. Maybe you lost some employees or a couple of employees, or you had to let go of a couple of employees or an employee. Make sure that the access from those previous employees who are no longer with you, that access has been terminated. Okay? You have to make sure that access has been terminated. Passwords of all organizational links have been changed, and you have to make sure that those things are done. Yes, it might be a pain in the rear, but guess what? It's going to be a more pain in the rear if your previous employee, if they mishandle that password incorrectly. Let's say they don't do no damage. They're not that type of person, but they have that password in their possession, in their phone, computer, whatever the case may be. If they mishandle that incorrectly, guess what? That can cause issues and problems. Okay? So we want to make sure those things happen in a timely manner. Okay? So making sure the access, whether the employees left or whether the employees are still with you, you want to make sure that the access that the employees have are only the access that they need to have. Okay? If you're saying that I got this person doing a little bit of this job and this person doing a little bit of this job because you got rid of a person here, that's not the same. You want to make sure you can share. There are certain ways to share and get information, documents, folders for other people to see without seeing the whole department about something else. So there are several ways about doing this. So you got to make sure those controls, those things are in order. And when you're talking about controls, listen, folks, do not give your password out to anyone. Anyone. Your boss asks you for your password, to say, okay, well, I'll give you my password. Can you reset my password so I can make myself a new one? He or she should be okay with that. There should be no problems with that. You have to make sure that happens because there's a code of ethics that the owners or the managers have to follow. This is all about making sure you're keeping your data and your access safe. So with that, if you have an employee that's wanting their password reset, you should respect that. It's not about they're going to try to kick you out so you can't get into their stuff when you want to. You should be able to look at data if you wanted to without their password. If you don't have that access type set up, give us a call. We can help you with that. Triad Cyber Solutions, we have gifted and strong level IT technicians that we can get the job done and make sure it's done properly the first time. Okay? So we want to make sure those access controls are set up and ready for you there. All right? Look, folks, I just gave you a great little snippet this week. Okay? You should be excited that you know what? You're like, dang, we'll hit on a bunch of things right there that we need to make sure we do, right? But like I talked to you all last month, the month before, October, we were talking about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We were talking about doing budgets, right? Doing budgets for 2025. Folks, before you go on your vacations, before you go on your family outings and your vacations, and you get out the office, some of you would be out of the office for two weeks or more, right? Now is the time to look at your systems again. You looked at your systems back in September and October. Now is the time to look at your systems again and your processes. Now, again, look at your workstation, your PC. If your PC is 5 years or more older, it's time to change. You got to upgrade. If not, your machine, there might be nothing wrong with your machine. But your machine, if it's 5 years old or older, it's causing you to have a higher risk. You're at a higher risk of getting hit quicker than someone who has a much newer machine of 1 to 2 years old then. Okay? So if your equipment in your office right now, you have a server, you have PC. If you got PCs and laptops, okay, I will say this. In my personal opinion, the bottom line is none of my clients, their machines are older than 3 years old. And 3 years old is like a long shot. 3 years is the minimum age. If you have machines in your office older than 3 years old, it's time for a replacement. You need to give us a call. Scan that QR code to book an appointment with me, and then we can schedule where we can come on site, take a look at what you have, put a comprehensive plan. We're going to need to do a cybersecurity risk assessment now. Okay. But we will go ahead and scan this code. We will talk and let's get to know each other. And let's find out if this is going to be a great fit for us to work together. Okay. But scan this QR code. We're going to do that. Folks, it's very, very imperative. Okay. Very imperative. So, PC, laptop, 3 years old or older needs an upgrade. If you have printers that are a little older, that might be a little bit okay. If your network equipment has been the same for the last 5 to 6 years, it needs an upgrade change. If your server, if you have an on-premise server and you're running Windows 2000, 2009, Server 2009, and you're not running at least minimum 2016 server, we need to upgrade. Okay? But we have some other solutions for you that can help you navigate with that server. Just give us a call, schedule, click on that link, okay? And then give us a call there, and we'll talk about it, all right? Well, folks, join us next week how we learn how to plan and how to make an incident response plan. What is the incident response plan? We'll see next week. I'll give you one little clue. Do you have a backup plan on how to get everything mitigated when everything goes haywire? You got payroll today. You can't do payroll because the system has been locked. Can you do it right now? All right. So that's that incident response plan. Folks, here is the QR code again, the schedule. Here are all of our other scheduling links. Here's our Instagram. Here's our LinkedIn. Look for our message again. Look for previous messages, how we talked about all these things. We are here to help you, not hurt you. And our number one thing here is keeping your business safe and keeping you protected. Okay, folks, until next time, we will see you next week.